Hi guys, um, I'm live. How you guys doing? I'm having to use my computer right now to go live because my phone blew up or something. I don't know. Um, my phone's not able to be used much anymore. How come you can't see my guitar? Um, I guess you can if I put the computer right. I'm having to use my laptop to record now. Um, but as long as I'm, works, I guess. Um, oh, what was that? So I'm. There's a lot of hissing there. Hissing. It's a little cleaner. Yeah, so I'm sorry I wasn't able to do blues for Tuesdays. Yesterday, I just didn't get a chance, and my phone no longer is no longer operational, basically, right now at least. So it took me a while to figure out to go live on my laptop, or via my laptop. And this is Wednesday, Humpday. So I wanted a lot of hissing, dude. I want to do Hump Day Lesson Day. So I've never gone live on my computer before, but here we are. Here I am. Well, here we are, and I am. I like the Jim Morrison poster behind me and the Queen poster behind me. So anyway, hope you enjoyed my latest content. They call it content when you make stuff. I did a portion of Me by Left Leppard. I had never learned that song or played it, and just learned it, wrote some of the words out because I couldn't memorize them very well, and then just recorded it and was done. I just wanted to do Def Leppard. I never have done them. I never really played a Def Leppard song in my life up until that point, and then I did. I like Portion Me, cool song. So let's do some lesson. Let's do Hump Day Lesson Day. I want to discuss some lessons about the blues. I'm learning a lot about the blues lately. It's a lot of hissing, man. It's a lot. It's coming from the wall pedal. So I want to go over some lessons about the blues. I was listening to Jimi Hendrix do Red House, and plus I did Robert Palmer, Addicted to Love, and I've done some Van Halen stuff, and I want to go into some blues stuff. Let me get my head straight here. In Red House, Jimi Hendrix is in the key of B, and it's blues. But what interests me is the chords that he plays as leads. I think it's interesting. It goes. And that's interesting in and of itself. It comes from a blues turnaround I'd like to go over with you guys. In the key of B, it's this. So let's do it again. In key of A, do this. The other direction. B again. I'm going to go into the details of how that gets analyzed, and of course, because that's I'm going to go into that. Before I go that though, he's in B though still, and he does it. He does a slight version of that that's in the key of E, which is the fourth in B, and he goes like this for a second. He goes. It's in E this time. He doesn't go all the way back down to E because it's in the key of B, so he doesn't want to sound like he's in the key of E, but he's playing an E lick. And then he does a thing like this. Back to the B blues thing. And I'm going to go into that detail too, of that little thing, what that means to me. But before, let's analyze some stuff. Let's analyze what I just did with the B lick. This is a B dominant seventh chord, or arpeggio, however you do it. And that's where he gets that. It's just so you can fret it. It's fourth string, ninth fret. Third string, 11th fret, second string, 10th fret, first string, 11th fret. This is a B dominant 7 chord. And then he slides down to this. Now, this is a incomplete G7 flat 9 chord. If you played the whole thing, you'd have a G in here. But that's very obtuse. You leave the root out, and it's just so you could think of it as a B diminished seventh chord. So it's from B dominant seventh to B diminished seventh, but the B diminished seventh isn't really rooted on B, and really it's an incomplete G7 flat 9 chord. So and the G in the key of B is the flat 6 root, flat 6 degree of the harmony. So it's like a flat 6/7. So you're going from B7 to G7 with a flat 9, and that's a major third down or minor 6 up. But I think of it as a major third down usually. But it could be all minor 6 up. It is the 6 after all. And then it goes. Then that descends a half step all the notes. So now you're doing what would be an incomplete F sharp 7 flat 9. If the F sharp it would be this. That's obtuse. Let's just call it. It's F. It's actually F G A. F sharp. It's actually an A sharp diminished seventh chord. But I think of it as an incomplete F sharp 7 flat 9 chord. That's better to do it that way. Actually, you can hear it better. And F sharp is the fifth in B, in key of B. So it's the 5 dominant 7 flat 9, but incomplete. And I didn't do the notes on this either. On the G, incomplete G7 flat 9, which is actually a B diminished seventh. I'm going to give you the frets on that. It's the fourth fret. No, it's the fourth string, ninth fret, third string, 10th fret, second string, ninth fret, first string, 10th fret, which then gets slid down half step. So now it's fourth string, 8th fret, third string, 9th fret, second string, 8th fret, first string, 9th fret. And so then that's an incomplete B7 flat 9. Or what you have there is these incomplete F sharp 7 flat 9, which is an A flat diminished seventh. I think. Wait, F G A flat. Wait. F sharp, G. Oh, it's not A flat, A sharp. A sharp diminished 7. Okay, A sharp. Because if it's F sharp, 7 flat 9, the third would be A sharp. It's A sharp diminished 7. I just showed you what the notes were on, what the frets were on that. And then down to the again, another voicing of B dominant 7. And this is fourth string, 7th fret, 3rd string, 8th fret, 2nd string, 7th fret, 1st string, 7th fret. So it's going. Yeah. And that's in the key of D. In the key of A would be. In G. And if you do it, think of it a different way. If you're thinking of this, if you played it a different way, you could actually play it as B7 to G7 to F sharp 7 and then back to B7. That's what the full harmony would be. Let's turn the distortion down a little bit. I have the red ray wrong, which may not be necessary. Or that's the essence of the progression. What A would be, or A7, F7, E7, A7, or in B, it's B7, G7, F sharp 7, E7. But in turnaround form, it's in an A, in G. I think that's very interesting to me. In G. Within Red House, Jimi Hendrix does the same thing in E, which is the 4th degree in a B blues, but he doesn't he doesn't play the final E. He plays E7, and then what would be an incomplete C7 flat 9 to an incomplete B7 flat 9, and leaves it at the B because it's in the key of B. The blues he's playing is in B, so why go to E when you're already in the key of B? You're already in B. So as if he's going, if I'm in B and I'm playing it on E, it'd be E7, then E diminished 7 slash C, or otherwise known as C, an incomplete C7 flat 9 to D sharp diminished 7th, A, otherwise known as a B, incomplete B7 flat 9. And then if it were in full chord form, since he's starting on this, since this lick is in E, it would be E7, C7, B7. So it would be like this. So instead of playing it all the way, it's all back on E, he's just going, which fits because you're in the key of B. So why not? It's like a Phrygian thing here. I did all by going. So that's brilliant. You can play the 4, the flat 7 of the 4 becomes the flat 2 of the 1, and then the flat 2 of the 1 goes down to the 1, which becomes the 5 of the 4, and that's what it was. 4 is the and 4. If you think of it in E, it's 1 7 flat 6 7 5 7. If you think of it in B, it's 4 7 flat 1 flat 2 7 1 7. Works for me. All for B blues. Blues is very intricate if you really get into it. I mean, you can play any note of the chromatic scale at a certain time or not in a blues progression. You just can't. You can. And then I think it's also interesting to break that down into little melodic tidbits, snippets, or whatever segments you could think of it as. Let's do that in the key of B because Red House is in B. I have. I'm going to do voicing by voicing, line by line, string by string here. So if I play the B7 to start it, and then, now watch what the 4th string does. The 4th string goes. So the 4th string. Oh, sorry. The 4th string went. Oh, sorry. I'll play just the 4th string of that now. So the 4th string went. And that's a common lick. It's in the key of B. It's B, C sharp, C. It's a 1 major 7 minor 7. I think Huey Lewis, or I think some of his other, something like that. And then in Def Leppard, I just did chords and trigonometry. It went. When part of that went. It's a common lick. That's where it comes from blues. Those aren't just random notes that people stuck in there. It comes from, if you were in F, you would go F. Sorry, that wouldn't be F. This is F. And that's in the D string. That's where that tidbit comes from. Or in B. Now the next voice I'm going to consider is the 3rd string thing. What does it do? Oh, so I'm going like this. The 3rd string just went. Isn't that beautiful, huh? It went. And that's a common lick for blues. That's where those notes came from. It can be in the 5th string. And you can go to the root. Like Randy Rhoads when he does his solo. In the Suicide Solution cadenza, he goes. Why do you do that? Well, that's part of the blues turnaround. If you're in B, that would be an A there. It would be in B. It would be which comes from. Sorry, wrong key. See that? It's an E, common thing. That's where that lick comes from. Those 4 notes. Where'd they come from? It's chromatic, and yet you're playing blues. Well, that's where it comes from. Now, the final one is the high string. The 2nd string is just. Let's see. The 2nd string is. That's what the 2nd string is doing here. That's interesting also. The 2nd string goes. So if you're in B, that's interesting. That would be an Aeolian Dorian mixture. If you're in B, this is a Dorian note, the alien note. That's a cool lick. The high string, the E string, goes from very familiar lick. Where'd that come from? Why all those chromatics? Because it goes or here. You know, country lick. That's where that lick comes from. This phrase. Wait, sorry. This brings you. And then here. And then here. Sorry. So I have all those little phrases that come from that simple, no, maybe not simple, progression. Blues turnaround. Is that almost a chromatic scale? Well, this is 1. The flat 9 isn't here right now, so let's just take that out. No flat 9 so far. The 9th or 2nd, minor 3rd, major 3rd. Then here I had major 3rd. I had this, so that's major 3rd, perfect 4th, augmented 4th, perfect 5th. So far, I have every note except for the flat 9, flat 2nd. Here I had this, which is 5, flat 6, 6, or major 6, minor 7th. There's that. Then I had minor 7th. I had this, which is minor 7th, major 7th, root. So I have 11 notes out of the 12 notes of the chromatic scale, all the notes except the flat 9, or flat 2nd. And then so Joe Satriani said that a person can think of 11 notes at a time, but not 12. So it's all the notes you can handle, meaning 11, all the notes in the chromatic scale except 1. And it's all within this progression, which is just, wow, that's cool. And A would be, it's very interesting. That's where all little phrases come from. Sounds like chromatic garble, but those are all the notes that come from that blues turnaround. Now, that's covered a lot of material. Let's make some music out of it. Let's just play around with it. Do some blues here. Let's go to G. I'll do the fourth thing. What was, try that, see if that works. That he did in Red House. When he played the thing in the key of E, which is the 4th degree of key of E. And let's go some other things I've seen licks like that. When I told you I did "Addicted to Love" by Robert Palmer, he's in the key of B for that, I think, and it's. Sorry. That's interesting. It's just if you're in B, it's a B7 to an E triad to another version of B7. I like that. In D, sleep. Whatever, you get the gist of it. In Bottoms Up by Van Halen, in the end of the solo, at the end of it, it's in the solo's in the key of A Dorian / or A blues, or however you call it. He goes like this. He goes. Part of the end of it. So this is a A7, another type of A7, then A7 or A major. This would be again. It would be the G sharp diminished seventh to A diminished seventh to A7. See that? And the solo, it's an A, it's great jamming, He ends it like that. Like I just did. That's cool. So, again, Hendrix in a song called "I Don't Live Today," he goes. Will I live tomorrow? I just can't say, oh no. Will I live tomorrow? I just can't say, alright. I know for sure. I don't live today. By windows. Feels like a living bubble grave. Windows. Feels like I'm living at the bottom of the grave. Wish you'd hurry up and execute me. I can view a miserable way. Did I get that right? So, tomorrow, I just can't say. Please don't live tomorrow. I just can't say, alright. Know for sure. I don't live today. So in the beginning, he's playing with the blues thing there. This is the third, the root, and then it's, that's a if he's in B, which he is, B7 to B6. Can you believe that? B7 to B6, or it could be considered G sharp minor, but who cares? B6, I call it. Sorry. And that part. He's playing with the B6, B7 idea. That like 6, 7, 6, 7. And that comes into play too, like in Thatch Boogie. Sorry, wait. Sorry, let's start again. I almost did it. Hear that? Hear that? Sorry. That's interesting. What it is, he's in the key of A blues, but in A, the fifth is E. And the fifth is, and in E you can go. This could be considered D sharp minor to D minor to C sharp minor, but I'm going to call it F sharp 6 to F6 to E6, and then another version F sharp 6 to F6 to E6. It's three consecutive, chromatically consecutive sixth chords leading down to the fifth, which is E. So F sharp 6, first of all, F sharp 6, F6 to E6, then again F sharp 6, F6 to E6. And that's another cool thing with that sixth idea that I was doing with the Hendrix. And a lot of times Joe Satriani, if he's in A, he would go instead of the seventh, or he would add a sixth to it to make it. If you're in B, it could be an F sharp minor, but I'm going to call it B6 instead of the vanilla more B7. It's B6. In the diminished things, so it would be B6, G sharp diminished seventh version. No, sorry, yeah, G sharp diminished seventh, A diminished seventh to A7. So rather than just going, he's going. He throws a six in there. So it's A6, G sharp diminished, A diminished, A7. It's interesting. He does it in Ice 9. And part of the solo, it's in G sharp actually, or A flat. In the solo, part of the solo. I like that. The 6 can be like a minor triad, but it's also a 6 chord in whatever. And then I think in that also, yeah, G sharp would be the 5th of C sharp, which is Einstein is in C sharp. So there's that. And then when Jimi Hendrix was doing the Red House, he was going like this. Like I said, the E lick, which ends on a B7, so it would be E7, C7, B7. And he goes, hear that? But he's in the key of B, blues, and he's doing this thing. Well, if you made that more chord-wise, it would be, which is the same thing Joe was doing, only this time it's in the key of B, whereas Joe's thing was in the key of A, but it's in the key of B, and the 5th is E, and I'm going down to the E via the major 6, minor 6, to the 5, 6. So it would be, let's see, G, A, make sure I get this right. A6, G sharp 6, G6. Oh, I get it. Wait, let me think about that. No, that's the wrong key here. Oh, I know what I did wrong just there. So he goes like this, right? And that's this. And it's in the key of B. So he's playing a B6, C sharp 6, C6. So it's like, instead of going down, in Joe's case, he's going down to the 5th of the key. It's in A, but he's in the 5th is E, and he's going down to the 5th, which is E. In Jimi Hendrix's case, he's in B, and he's going from B6 to C sharp 6 to C6. So it's a root 6, or you could play it like this, to the major 7/6 to the flat to the minor 7/6. If in B, Joe's thing was in A, but he was going so down to the 5th via the major 6, minor 6, and 5th. Jimi Hendrix was in B, and he went down. He went from the root to the major 7/6 to the minor 7/6. It's interesting, if you put those in the same key, if you were in B and you did both, you would go for Jimi Hendrix version, and then for the Joe's version, you would go, because the 5th now would in A, B would be F sharp, you would go down via chromatics from G sharp 6 to G6 to F sharp 6. If you combine that with the Hendrix's idea of B6 to A sharp 6 to A6, you'd have 6 chromatically consecutive 6 triads or chords. Talk about chromatic, eh? If that's in the key of B. If you're in the key of A, like Joe was, and he went down to the 5th, which is E, via. Let me get this right here before I just play stuff. Let me think here. It would be like this. Let me think. Yeah, there we go. He was going F sharp 6 to F6 to E6 in the key of B. If he did Jimmie's thing, he would then get to play D6 let's do this right. I'm in the key A, so for the E, for the first part, I would be F sharp 6, F6, E6. If I did Hendrix's thing, I would go starting on the root, which is A6 to G sharp 6 to G6. And that's interesting, because if I put those all together, since I'm in the key of A right now, and he already played this, and if I played the part in A up an octave, I would get, if I added the other part, I would get, again, 6 consecutive 6 chords chromatically, descending from the root, or tonic, you should say. And talk about chromatic mess, because the way Hendrix did it would be the A6, G sharp 6 to G6, because it's the tonic 6 to the major 7/6 to the minor 7/6, and the way Joe did it was the would then be F sharp 6, F6 to E6, which is the which is the major 6/6 to the minor 6/6 to the 5/6. So you have every note of the chromatic scale is played in that, I betcha. So I love blues, the way you can analyze the little chord things. I'm not, little snippets that may seem inconsequential to the untrained ear, but if you break them down, or like, and you get these little phrases, and they're really cool. Like the Hendrix. Or the 6 idea, or Joe's. Lots of stuff going on in blues. If you really break it down, you might as well go to college. I love you guys. Peace, love, rock and roll. Let's see if I can stop this thing now. How do I end this? I've never done this on my TV. Love you guys. Peace, love, and rock and roll. And there we go.